Well, hey you guys, I'm out on the range today, and as you can see, I'm working on some very basic movement, lateral movement. We're gonna dig right into that. How about we change some camera angles, and we'll talk about what we're gonna do. Let's get right into it. One of my friends and mentors, Dave Harrington, Super Dave Harrington. Dave ran range 37 at Fort Bragg. Look up Super Dave and look up range 37 if you've got a mind to do so. Dave has a saying. He says, you're either firing and maneuvering or you're being fired and maneuvered upon. I'll say it again. You're either firing and maneuvering or you're being fired and maneuvered upon. Now, hear me out. I'm not pretending to have some combat experience or anything like that, but listen to the next point. You look at any fighting art, boxing, wrestling, grappling, judo, jiu-jitsu, MMA, and you will see movement. Nobody squares up and just throws punches. Nobody squares up and just tries to grab legs. You see movement. If you join a boxing club or a boxing gym or get a boxing coach, one of the very first things you will learn is how to move your feet. Movement is life. Movement is life. Some movement is probably better than no movement. If I square up on a target and I draw, that's cool. I am drawing my sword, right? If I square up on that same target and I draw and I am no longer where I was, the person out there now needs to look where I went, where I is. Improper grammar on purpose for effect. So if I am squared up, i.e. on you, and just so everybody's understand, I am alone on the private range in the woods here today. There is no cameraman, just me and my man Frodo tripod and my camera, and I'm all by myself. We'll talk about that later. If I square up and I move and then draw, that's okay, but wouldn't it be better if I can link that presentation? So, our training should be repeatable, it should be reliable, it should be robust. Repeatable and reliable are similar, but they're not the same. Repeatable, can I do this thing over and over again? Can I get my master grip? Can I get the gun up? Cool. Is it reliable? Can I rely on it? Can I rely on my gear? Is my holster going to break? Is my belt going to break? Is it going to work regardless of the clothing if I'm wet, bloody, cold, etc.? And is it robust? Will it stand up to force, to violence? Much martial arts training is predicated, and you can go to any martial arts gym across America. Let me rephrase that. You can walk in many martial arts gyms across America and see training that is built around complacent partners. Now, when we are training, yes, we need partners that allow us to practice the exercise. During these discussions that we've been having as of late here on the Carry Trainer YouTube channel, I'm going to bring up some teaching points. And these are not Mickey, the excellent instructor, or Mickey, the excellent coach. You go to a college Division I football school, you go to a major league team, you go to a child's first little league practice, and you are going to see these same principles. Crawl, walk, run. We learn things in compartmentalized, bite-sized chunks, such as master grip, present the pistol, join my hands, press out, get a sight picture, etc. We learn things in compartmentalized, bite-sized chunks, then we add to them. Movement is the same way. And in our classes, we do it as such. You saw at the intro of the video, me just demonstrating. I'm going to talk us through it, and then I'll break it down. I'm going to verify I like my camera angle. Why don't we just move you a little bit? That way you are looking straight at me. How about that? So there's you, and here comes me. So in class, we start out dry. We'll start out with no gun, no gun. So I'll say, dry fire, no gun. I'll say square up on the target. So for you guys, I'm going to pretend you're my target. I'll say take a big step to the right. I'll say on the up command, I want you to mimic a draw stroke, joining your hands with good presentation, and I want you to take a step or two to the left. I don't correct any footwork at this point. It looks like this. Up, right? We get a little movement. I watch how people are moving. I say recover that pretend gun to the holster. I say go to the right. Here we go. Go back to the holster. I'd be giving the command of up or maybe a whistle, depending on the noise or lack thereof on the range. Say, okay, now we're going to go with our gun, but we are not touching the trigger. It looks like this. And we would do this for a few minutes. It's going to look like this, moving to the left, up. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear, safe to holster. Going to the right. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear, safe to holster. Now we would do it live. And again, we'd rep that 4, 5, 10 minutes, depending on what we had going on the range, depending on the skill of the student, depending on how well they are absorbing and learning the material. Live fire target now. Take a couple steps back so I'm within safe distance of my steel. Going to the left. Master grip, rotate towards the target. Did I hit? Did it work? Does he need to be hit again? I go through my holstering process. Trigger guard's clear. My holster's clear. It's safe to holster. Super simple until it's not. And here's what oftentimes happens. We'll see this. All the stuff we did before fell apart. The draw stroke still needs to be consistent. I still need good posture, right? What's my posture look like? I like the way my buddy Paul Sharp describes it. Imagine if you and I were standing out in a river, not a crazy rapid-filled river, but like, you know, a river that had some water moving. That's what makes it a river. If you stood in that river and we were just out there BSing, watching ducks and maybe having a cold bottle of beer, which we wouldn't litter, we'd take home with us. If we didn't change our posture, that river'd push us over, right? So we'd probably have to lean into the current. So is our movement incorporating us landing in good posture? Does that make sense? Does our movement incorporate us landing in good posture? And does movement cause us to have a degradation of prior skills? So let's take a big step back. Really basic draw stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear. Now adding movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Trigger guard's clear, holster's clear. I'm talking through these things because this is how I train. Most self-inflicted gunshot wounds on the range happen as people are coming in and out of the holster. They are not careful. Something like their finger, clothing, something out of nature. I've seen sticks, I've seen leaves, I've seen rocks, I have seen brass, I've seen drawstrings from clothing. All manner of crap fall into the holster. It is our job to dominate the muzzle at all times and dominate the trigger guard. My finger's not on or around the trigger, it's high off the trigger. And as I go to the holster, if I'm in a training setting with people to my left and right, if I'm going into the appendix, I can't be pointing this way. I've got training partners out here. I need to be able to manage and dominate my muzzle. If I'm coming in here and I can't find my holster, if I've got people to my right, look where my muzzle is. I need to be able to control that and come back to the holster. Let's change a camera angle for you, huh? All right, let you stare at my arse for a minute, you perverts. And we'll do the same thing. I'm going to tell the student, square up on the target. And when I say square up, what I'm saying is stand directly in front of the target. And part of this is just communication so that we're all moving together. I'm going to say take a big step or two to your left. I'm going to say on the up command or whistle, whatever the command is, draw, give me 2. And we may start with our hands in different positions. Relaxed, high fence position, hands clasped, all sorts of different things we can add there. Say high fence position. And up. Did I hit? Did it work? Does he need me to hit him again? All right, trigger guard's clear, holster's clear. This would be the point that you would start to add in things like, is anybody else hurt? What's important now? Can I get out of here? Should I stay? Do I have to stay? Does he have any friends? There's a whole dialogue that we can add to the training, but right now, because we are compartmentalizing what we're doing, we're digging into the movement. Let's talk footwork a little bit. If you've done any type of training classes, you'll hear people say, never cross your feet. Never cross your feet. Well, challenge. Go watch a little footage of the late, great Walter Payton, one of the greatest football players of all time. And you will see many a video or picture of Walter, feet crossed, catching, jumping, leaping, flying. Watch great soccer players, watch great baseball players. You will see all types of foot crossing. Caveat, these are professional athletes that have trained to move efficiently and effectively in all types of conditions and adverse conditions, right? Keyword, professional and training, key words. I have friends from various areas that are at the highest echelons of their game, be it world champions, Max Michel, JJ Racaza, my friend Les Keys Martoni, to name a few. Brandon Powers, check Brandon out. These are all competitive shooting guys. Some of them are coppers and have law enforcement backgrounds. Max was on the Army Marksmanship Unit. So you got that sector. I've got friends that are special operations guys. My good dear friend Z Durham is one that comes right to mind. I talked about Super Dave Harrington a moment ago. And SWAT cop friends. Chris Palmer comes to mind immediately from Arizona, and many other such dudes. Mason out of Arizona as well. Various backgrounds, but when you're shooting, you're shooting. Now, footwork, again, I don't want to talk out of my lane or out of turn, contingent upon a lot of things. Remember, we want skills that are reliable, repeatable, and robust. Know yourself. I have pretty good balance. I have spent my life jumping on pogo sticks, playing on slack lines, working on balance. Let's just look at that for a minute, just to kind of illustrate the point I'm making. I'm going to top my gun off. And this is just to illustrate the point. Would you say that this is good posture, kids? Would you say that's good posture? I'm guessing the answer is no. But where I'm going with that is I've worked on posture and balance quite a bit. If you haven't, let's get there. I like to ask questions of my special operations friends. Just like I'm an EMT, I like to ask friends that are emergency room docs, trauma docs, questions as well, because they do the thing a lot. And I've asked a lot of special operations assaulters, guys whose job was to go hit targets with guns and get in gunfights. What's your footwork look like? What kind of footwork? Some of them are like, just move. Other guys, my friend Corey, who came from the highest echelons of naval special operations, great dude, you'll see him in some of our videos. Corey did a demonstration at an S-12 event of how Corey moves. And this is what you saw with Corey's footwork with the gun out. If you miss, make it up. Other guys with similar backgrounds said, that's dumb. Well, once upon a time I heard a story where a bunch of neophytes, people that had never done the thing, but had a lot of education and training on the thing, were talking about tourniquets. This is at a dinner. I was not there, but I heard this story from the host of the class. At the dinner table was a Air Force PJ, pararescueman. Basically, they're super soldiers, one of the longest pipelines in special operations. They're paramedics, highly trained to go into adverse conditions and rescue down soldiers, down airmen, etc., and get them out and provide medical aid. So this person that was at the table was eating. They knew what they're talking about. And all of these students are arguing over what's the best tourniquet. The PJ, the pararescueman, had given his opinion based on years and years of experience. And these guys are like, you're wrong. I read this article. I listened to this podcast. I saw this training thing. And the pararescueman finally said, hey guys, your opinion doesn't trump my experience. And he went back to cutting his steak and having his supper. Oftentimes we formulate opinions and we don't think about the source. If my friend Corey, who worked at the highest echelons of naval special operations, you know, the team that's like the team in the Navy, his opinion matters based on his life experience and the totality of the things he did. At the same time, I've got friends that have similar experiences and I see them moving more like so. Check it out. A little less hurried, a little more smooth. I think part of this has to do with our body type, our makeup, Can we dance or can we not dance? Some guys are klutzes, some are not. So know thyself. Find out what your truth is and know thyself. I would then set up a series of exercises that are going to force you to move around obstacles. Let me set a couple things up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Well, how's that? Nature provided us some sticks and this mud-laden earth. Let me shove it into the ground. Out on the range, we would use barrels, we'd use sports cones, whatever. I'm going to move laterally, same thing I just did. And I could first do it like so. I'll step in front of these, and I'm going to just move from left to right about 10 feet. It'll look like this. Go back the other way. I'll go from the appendix holster. Now, if you noticed, I changed my walking pattern a few times, just trying to show you a different look, a different feel. So I went left to right without any obstacles. Now I'm going to slalom around these things that I put in my path of travel. It's going to look something like this, guys. Gun comes up. I'm not pretending that these are people. They're nothing but a stick shoved in the ground. If I came off my trigger and came off my sights, it was because I needed to put my vision somewhere other than on the target. So I wasn't adding anything. Oftentimes we use big barrels and cones, and this was actually a fun exercise for me. I did not plan to do it. Barrels and cones you pick up in your peripheral vision very well. These I couldn't see as well in my periphery. They're skinny enough that while my hands are up here, my arm pretty much blocked this whole stick. So it was a little bit of a different look at an exercise we do all the time in our classes. So we're going to start to incorporate movement like that. Where are we going? What's the synopsis? Well, let's change the camera angle again, and we'll just wrap this baby up. Synopsis. If I'm not training to move, I'm probably not going to have that in the software that I've been working on writing. Somebody standing in front of you delivering violence to you, move. Move if you can, but at the same time, figure out how to incorporate into training, like we did today, the ability to rapidly apply righteous force. Righteous not in a biblical sense, but righteous in the sense of right under the ethics, the morals, and the laws that we live by. That might be religious to you. Why I denote that is it's not eye for an eye. It's not a tooth for a tooth. Our actions of self-defense must be predicated and built upon law. Otherwise, using the force that we train for unlawful, unethical, unrighteous reasons can get us locked up, ruin our life, take us away from our family, the very thing that we are trying to prevent, to be with our family as long as possible. I hope this is helpful. Try this stuff in dry fire, then add in some live fire, and then you can make it harder with some obstacles. Don't overthink it. Imagine watching the next boxing match, MMA match that you see. Start to think about the angles that people take. Don't be where you were. The opponent now needs to track you. They need to now change their path of travel, and they will go from offense to defense as you flip the switch from defense to offense. Fight right, fight well, follow the law. And hey guys, people ask me all the time, how can you support the channel? Besides buying our merchandise or coming to our class, we are roasting Ignis Lux Coffee. I roast this stuff myself. We package it in-house. Delicious, delicious coffee.
Have you ever heard that you can almost taste the very energy, the life force of a bread maker when you bite into that delicious, fresh, finished product? It's also said that the very heart and soul of a winemaker goes into each delicious sip of that finished goodness. The truth is, I made all that crap up. At Ignis Lux, we've got no corporate BS. No mass-produced junk of any kind. No sales pitches are needed. Just fresh, delicious coffee. Roasted fresh and shipped right to you. So what do you say? Give it a try. IgnisLuxCoffee.com.